What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Off the Top Rope, Off the Mic Sports Network. Some breaking news on Wednesday morning. This has been speculated on for a while. What was the future of WWE Premium Live events? And we got the answer to that question on Wednesday as WWE and ESPN came to terms on a deal, a 5-year deal starting in 2026, upwards of $300 million, where WWE Premium Live events are going to be a part of the direct-to-consumer DTC subscription service that's going to launch in the next couple of weeks here, which is going to be basically, I think it's $29.99 a month for a bunch of things going on the ESPN platform. I'm not sure exactly what that entails. I don't have the full details of that, but I'm assuming it's going to be broader than, and WWE is going to be included in that with their Premium Live event. Their Premium Live events are going there. Now, this is going to create a lot of frustration within the fan base. And if you are a diehard fan who has been, catered for the last decade or so to, WWE Network, then to Peacock, basically, you're spending 9, 10, 11, I think it was going up to about $15 a month. And now Premium Live events are now going to be, essentially, if you're only watching WWE, you're paying $30 a month, or I think they offer it for like $300 for the full calendar year annually. I've been on TKO for a minute, and I've had conversations with a bunch of my friends who are very diehard, fans. And what TKO has done to the business really in the last couple of years is, hey, they've made it more sports centric and they've really boomed pricing. It's a lot what's happened with the UFC. And, more power to TKO for doing whatever the fuck they want. Like, listen, you're going to make the almighty dollar and be greedy, and you want to get every cent that you can out of the business. Okay, cool. But this is I've already started to see some sort of a tipping point. WWE is still selling tickets. Let's get that clear. There's still, obviously, the Netflix deal was a massive, massive boon for this company. But this is an absolute fucking risk that you're risking alienating fans, because now a lot of them are getting priced out of going to live events. I'm glad I got to go see at least one WrestleMania in my life. Before all of this, TKO stuff went into effect at WrestleMania 39. That was coincidentally the weekend when the sale happened. But now seeing that this happened, and obviously there's probably more to delve into in terms of, what this means for the future of the business. Because on one side, from a mainstream perspective, this is a big time deal for WWE. You get to go on ESPN. ESPN's going to talk about you like you're a sport. That's actually really cool from that perspective. Some people aren't going to like this because they don't like ESPN because they're woke. And, I'm not going to get into that sort of conversation here on this channel because, listen, I've tried to delve down the road of politics and, some people have just eaten me alive, and it's a cesspool. And in a lot of cases, wrestling has become that too. So it's almost fitting that this is becoming a part of this discussion in our culture now. But the whole problem that I really have with this is, for the last decade, WWE has catered their audience from the tradition. They moved them away from the traditional pay-per-view model. And starting in 2014, they got into hey, we're using streaming services, and a lot more people had easier access to watching pay-per-views and premium live events on Peacock or WWE Network. And there was also the library that had a lot of people being able to easily access, big time events. Now with this ESPN partnership, one of the positives is obviously, okay, more money for WWE and TKO. I know a lot of people watching this channel don't really give a shit about that. And, hey, it's going to be much harder. Not much harder, but hey, you're spending, it was like $15 a month for Peacock and you were getting a lot of stuff here. If you're a sports fan, you're probably going to pay $30 a month for, the sports subscription. And I heard that, hey, You if you have it as part of YouTube TV, you can be able to consume that and at no extra charge and cool. Um excuse me. If you're if you're a diehard sports fan, ESPN and Disney has become like the center of the sports world in the last couple of days. Like now they've gotten the NFL network and Red Zone this week, and now they have WWE rights and they already have UFC. Like it's Disney and ESPN is becoming the center of the sports entertainment world, which is crazy to think about. Um, but this is definitely going to cause some discourse and some really uncomfortable conversations within the fan base because obviously this what this is going to do, this is going to feed into tribalism, and the AEW schmucks are going to come out in the woodwork and basically say, well, hey, this isn't great, like the premium live events, they were 5-6 match shows, and now you're going to have to pay more for them. Yeah, hey, that may be true, and I'm hoping that and some people are going to be turn this into like a woke conversation and say, yeah, ESPN wants to censor everything, and maybe a lot of the stuff that WWE would get away with in terms of like area guys, that's not going to factor into this. WWE and TKO are going to do whatever the fuck they want to do. ESPN and Disney just paid a whole inordinate sum of money to air their premium live events. There's going to be more 2-day events. And yes, in terms of the way the world has been going, especially in the last couple of years, everything's getting more expensive. So in that respect, I kind of see it. But if you're a diehard fan who, like I said, for the last 10 years has been catered and groomed into, hey, spending less money on premium live events and pay-per-views, you're obviously going to be very disappointed about this. And I knew that this was gonna probably be the direction that they were gonna go in. Um, by all accounts, the $30 charge is gonna be the only thing that you're gonna really have to pay. It's not gonna be one of those things where you have to pay $30 and then have to pay another 50 to get a pay-per-view. That's not gonna be what this is by all indications of what I've read. So maybe that changes, but we'll have to see. Um, in regards to the AEW people who are going to try and, frame this as, hey, our company's better than yours, guys, you still charge $50 a month for your monthly pay-per-views. And you started with 4. Now you're charging more money. So this will probably, it's like, listen, I've heard of VPNs, and, obviously that Netflix deal internationally. I don't know how that's going to apply to this. I'm assuming that because they still have the deal with Netflix, maybe go get a VPN. Maybe that's cheaper for you. There are ways around this. So at the end of the day, what this really means is what we already knew. WWE and TKO, as I've said, do not care about you. They care about the almighty dollar. That's what they care about. They basically, doubled what they were making off of the Peacock deal by doing this deal. They got more mainstream exposure, which is going to make them even a bigger deal on ESPN and Disney. That's a big time deal and a big time coup for them. So in that respect, from a business sense, I totally get it. But you're also risking alienating a lot of the, diehard fans who have been into this product for a long time. And a lot of it was prided on affordability and getting to events, which is not the same as it was before, and affordability to watching premium live events on television. That's obviously going to be different this time. So, whatever you decide to do, I'm not going to tell you guys what to do on here. I'm just going to tell you, hey, and break this down from the perspective of, okay, what does this mean on both ends? And if you're one of these AEW people are going to be like, ha ha, WWE fans are going to be charged more. I was like, you guys, I understand Tony Khan does like 15 match pay-per-views, but you're still charging $50. And now you're on a streaming service. Remember you guys announced that you were being on HBO Max? Now you're on Amazon Prime. Why are you charging extra money for pay-per-views if you're so much better than everybody else? So the discourse in this is going to become uncomfortable. A lot of the media that was done today, they danced around a lot of the issues, and maybe this was sort of to deflect again from all of the Brock Lesnar stuff. And if that's the case, that's kind of gross, in my opinion. Why are you running away from it? But it's nonetheless very interesting. WWE has found a way to be in the headlines for most of this week. So if that's their goal, make the almighty dollar and get attention, then they're doing their jobs. So anyway, we'll see where this all goes. But WWE, Disney, and ESPN are now partners starting in 2026, and WrestleMania 42 will be one. And I'd imagine the Royal Rumble will be one of the first events, the premium live events that WWE will air on this streaming service. So this will be really interesting to monitor. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.